Hi everybody, and welcome back to FANG Friday. This is Ross Healy, the Chairman of Strategic Analysis Corporation and the Senior Portfolio Manager at McNichol & Associates Asset Management. Well, this past week was what I would call a marking time week for the market and for the FANGs. In the previous 2 weeks, we'd seen 4 additions to our Phantom FANG portfolio, as 3 of the FANGs had broken out and 1 had virtually hit a really nice low and was turning. Sadly, not every week is as full of positive activity as that, however. And this past week was one of consolidation while the market looks to confirm those breakouts. But before we take a close look at those FANGs, as always, I do like to say thanks to everyone who likes this video and all our subscribers. Okay, let's start off with Amazon. And Amazon had virtually hit its HB2 price, which was, as I showed you before, a 10-year low on the stock. And we had used that opportunity to add it into our FANG portfolio. And indeed, there has been a nice rally. However, in the past week, as you can see, there has been a little bit of a rollover, a kind of a, not quite a breakout pullback, but kind of a bounce and check back, which we're going to see in virtually all of the FANGs this week. Alphabet, well, Alphabet has been struggling against its bubble price. I think it would really like to go higher. And anytime it gets even a little bit below its bubble price, by the way, that's 7.4 times book value, a little bit below, it immediately pulls back up again. I think that this is a stock that wants to go higher, and maybe a lot higher. Netflix, admittedly a stock that I haven't liked, but listen, I'm not paid to like stocks. I'm paid to apply SVA principles to the stock market. And Netflix broke out over its HB3, which is 16 times book value. It has done what we very often expect with breakouts, that is to say, a breakout and a pullback, and it has pulled back beautifully. So Netflix remains happily in our Phantom FANG portfolio. Apple, a little bit more controversial here, because Apple was in a court case, which, by the way, I think it is generally conceded that they won with Epic Games, insofar as that Epic has had to pay its 30% fee as per its contract. But Apple also has said that it is trying to ease some of the economic pressure on other app providers, particularly some of the newer ones, which that 30% fee may be a kind of an economic drag on them while they're getting going. So it was, some people had described it as a bit of a push in bridge, meaning when 2 hands are played and with exactly the same outcome. So nobody wins, nobody loses. Microsoft, well, what can we say about Microsoft? It just keeps soldiering along, and even look at that in the consolidation week when everybody else was kind of oozing lower. What did Microsoft did? Yeah, ooze lower, right? But it's been bouncing a little bit as of late. I think, as much as I think it's a push for Microsoft to get to its HB3, I think that's precisely where it wants to get. So 16 times book, perhaps here we come for Microsoft. Facebook it wants to get to its bubble price, and the big question in my mind is because that's such a long-term high, and because it's hit there 3 times before and has failed to go through, it's going to be a real test of the strength of this company to see whether it can break out or not. For the time being, I've left it in the FANG portfolio, expecting it's going to get back and retest its bubble price. And finally, NVDA. Well, NVDA actually could not get through its HV5. In fact, it didn't even manage to get there, and it too is rolling over. So we have 7 stocks that may want to go higher, but for the time being, that is not going to be the case. In summary, our Phantom FANG portfolio now has 6 stocks in it. Microsoft, Facebook, and Amazon were already there, and they've now been joined by Netflix, Apple, and Alphabet. That would mean that every one of the FANG stocks, but maybe one, is in an uptrend, although we'll be watching Apple fairly closely given its recent action. And that's a big fat and, hopefully leading the market higher. This week has seen no progress anywhere, FANGs or the overall market. So we're in a waiting mode right now. What I have found as a positive is that while the FANGs were consolidating and testing their breakouts, they pretty much held nicely at the breakout levels. And so my positive expectation for the FANGs, and more especially for the market, remain cheerfully intact. For now, this has been Ross Healy, Chairman of Strategic Analysis Corporation and a Senior Portfolio Manager at McNichol & Associates, reminding you that nothing, including investing, is difficult if you have the right tools. I'll see you next week.